Hi guys, welcome to another SLTD Wrestling Roundtable podcast. We are here as always. Um, Today we are going to do our draft predictions. I assume we're going to call it predictions because we've kind of done what we always done and we've either under prepare or we totally over prepare, and we've all done something a little bit different. So we're just going to kind of work it out as to how it all works and who we think's going where and all that good stuff. And then we'll see what happens with the draft being next week.
Mhm.
We're here as always with Adam and Callum. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see them. But if not, Adam, you okay?
Yeah, mate. I sent a message into the to our chat. I think it was on Thursday, saying that at that time I had 42 picks that I'd made in the
Yeah.
draft. I've now got 43 because I remembered one that I forgot this morning.
Uh,
But to fully transparent, I only put that in because I thought both of you, if not just Ty, would have forgotten what we were doing, and it was to preempt a text going, "What are we doing this weekend?" So I thought I'll do that so that we're all on the same page. But again, we've not really spoke about it too much, so we all might have different formats and different
yeah,
versions of things that we're working on. But it's fine. It's fine.
yeah.
We'll predict it.
Callum, you okay?
Yeah, I feel like I've completely underbooked and not done a lot. A lot of plans are in my head, let's just say, but a lot of those plans went out of my head once Rhea Ripley came down injured, as did Seth Rollins. So that Raw side is lacking two huge names. Um, so hopefully within this draft, we're going to put a few people over from SmackDown or from NXT to fill out that Raw roster a little bit because it's not great, especially with Punk injured as well. So they're three huge names that need replacing.
Yes, I am feeling this also. How many call-ups have you done out of interest?
How many what?
Like call-up.
Call-ups from NXT.
Oh, I thought you said how many cops have you done? I thought, what? Taking a turn, this, isn't it?
Taking a turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. No, 11.
All right, okay. I haven't done that many. I've
And
done
then I'm sending 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 down to NXT.
bloody hell.
There you go.
I've done one, two, three, four, five, six. I've done seven call-ups, but some of them we know about.
Mm.
Only sent two people down.
Well, this is the thing because,
Do you know
and
what
this
though,
this
right?
this may spoil someone that's on your lists,
Yeah.
but on the Wikipedia for WWE personnel, it already listed Bron Breakker on the SmackDown roster.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. So
Yeah,
I've done Breaker, right? And then I've done Dragunov because he said he's going to be in it.
yeah.
I've
Mm.
done, is it Lyra Valkyrie?
Lyra Valkyria, it was
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez that was on Raw.
Roxanne Perez, sorry, yeah. So I've done Roxanne.
Yeah,
Um, who's the champ? Roxanne.
Roxanne's the champ. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be one of those things where she loses it because it's
That's
spring
what I
break
was
Mm.
about to say,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I've done a few, but then these obvious people like Carmelo's on there because it's Carmelo, and
Mm.
you know what I mean. Obviously Breaker, and then I've put Corbin on there because you know,
you're just spoiling all your NXT picks now.
just saying. It's alright, I'm just that's so good. Right, so let's get into it anyway before I spoil any more picks for myself. Um, this is all on you, Adam. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, right, okay.
So whatever format you want to do, we will go with that. All right.
Well, even though I've got a lot of picks, I think like my SmackDown roster, they're growing in size by about 16, I think. But that's because I've separated out teams and stables. So
Mm.
I've not just sort of done them as one pick. I've included them as separate picks, but they're all going together essentially.
Oh yeah, I've just put the
Um,
stations together.
so what I'll do is I'm going to start with the people that are moving to Raw. We good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'll give you my first one, which is essentially a group, but it's different people. So my first pick to Raw is that Angel, Berto, and Santos Escobar, Legado del Fantasma, Oh, and I suppose Electra Lopez at that point, I didn't write it down, are all moving to Raw from SmackDown. Because I feel like one thing that we need to do is just move Legado and LWO away from each other for a little bit.
I
Yeah.
have done exactly the same thing. I have put them on Raw and left LWO on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, because you don't want Ray and Dom, assuming Judgment Day stay on Raw, you don't want Ray and Dom on the same brand again. So it makes sense for Legado to be the ones to go over to Raw.
Well, you would assume we can go with like, well, if we're doing it this way, right? So if we're doing Raw and SmackDown, right? So if we separate them both, right, and do it that way, Raw, you're looking at number one pick being Priest, aren't you?
Yeah,
Because
surely.
he's the champ, isn't he? So Priest is going to Raw, and then on SmackDown you do Cody because it's Cody because he's the champ. So whichever way you look at it, and however we're gonna like, okay, this guy's moving to Raw or that guy's moving to SmackDown or whatever way you want to do it, Priest and Cody, and I assume Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under, they're gonna stay on their respective brands.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
kind
fair?
of
Yeah.
with those designs,
Yeah.
that I'm just gonna say this now for like 2 years down the line where someone goes, let's move that world title over there and keep these tag titles over here. That's gonna irritate me so much.
So Awesome Truth and A-Town, right?
Because I did debate swapping United States and IC titles,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I've not done.
No, I haven't actually. No, I haven't. But and then would you say so? Bailey's staying on SmackDown.
Yes.
Yes.
Fair to say, right? So Bailey's on SmackDown, and then whoever the champ is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
new champ. Okay, right, that's fair. Okay, so them teams are or so we've got Damian Priest, regardless of where we ends up putting Judgment Day. We've got
Mhm.
Awesome Truth and whoever the new women's world champ is.
Yeah.
I am annoyed that they're doing a battle royal. Just
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a bit naff, innit?
Is
yeah,
that what they're actually doing? I've not seen that.
Yeah.
yeah, they're doing a battle royal. I think they could have done like a proper
One
amazing,
night tournament.
yeah,
Mm.
proper amazing tournament. Like, and would have got all like so many more women's matches on a Raw. Like,
Mm.
it would have
It
been
feels a
so
bit rushed as well. Like, why are you doing it right
yeah.
away?
No.
The only thing I would like consider is because of the draft being next week, they probably want like a women's champion in line for the draft.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do feel like they could have done something that led up to like a big match at Backlash.
Yeah.
Like just have like a 2 week tournament. It's not that difficult. I mean, how hard can it be? And it's not like a Top Gear reference. And it would make the Backlash match feel quite special because right now, like, there's no idea who the champion will be on Raw.
Yeah.
So you have no idea who the opponent could be either.
Yeah.
Well, the assumption is, but I assume anyway. I don't know if this is the assumption, but I assume if they're having a battle royal, whoever, so whoever wins it, whoever she throws out, probably going to be number one contender.
Mm.
Yeah. If there's some sort of nefarious way of winning or
Mm.
something, yeah.
So I'm thinking. But I think this shows the different mindset. I think, although I'm like pissed off, I'm pissed off because I'm mad about a royal, but it just seems a little bit of a shitty way of winning the title. Um,
Mm.
it shows that if they were going to do it as a tournament and it hadn't been sorted before the draft, anybody who goes to SmackDown automatically you're like, well, they're not winning.
Mm.
Mm.
It was like these are tournaments and like Becky and Bianca are in it, and it's like anything can happen because we've got a draft coming, so it doesn't matter where, like if you're on Raw or SmackDown, and then the draft happens and Bianca goes to SmackDown, it's like, well, Becky's winning that title. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like,
Mm.
so it's just, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit. It makes sense because it's kind of like it's done and dusted. But the idea of having like 8 women's matches or something on one Raw, like
Yeah,
it would have been cool if they would have put everything on Raw to the side, like all matches that they planned to the side, and just had the promos that they were doing and anything
Mm.
else happening, and then had a full tournament the whole show.
mm,
Like that would have
Mm.
been so good. Like just something so different to have the tournament is the only matches on the show. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Or
Like
even because they've done quite a lot of them. Have a gauntlet match. I think I'd sooner a gauntlet match than a battle
Mm.
royal.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
But then would it be you can have a battle royal because you can have more people involved?
possibly. I think
Than
with a
what?
gauntlet though, if you had someone like a Becky Lynch who ran it for a good 30, 40 minutes,
Mm,
and then, a heel, like a maybe even like a Nia Jax or someone,
yeah,
comes in right at the end, squashes them, pins them,
mm,
then naturally you've got your first match after that point.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked if Jack won, to be honest with you. Saying it now, wouldn't be shocked. She'll be the final, one of the final two, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you eliminate her in a battle royal? It's like the big show.
How do you do it?
Yeah,
They find a new way every year.
that's it. That is it. Right, so we've done our obvious ones, and then our first pick, LDF, Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Is everyone happy with that being there?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, though.
Because I think what we'll do as well is like I can work through, and then if I've not mentioned anyone that you two have got, we can add them on. And then if there is
Mm.
anyone that we don't mention, just assume that they're going to stay put.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise we'll miss somebody off.
yeah.
And he'll be like, "Why didn't you mention
Well,
Ricochet,
the Rico,
Ricochet?" You know.
um, I was on I can't remember what site it was, but it showed you the whole roster.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
the full roster, including general managers, and announce team and stuff like that. 240 of them. Yes, 240 of them. I was like, what? What the fuck?
Too many.
Too many, that.
Mm.
Too many.
Too many.
So yeah, go on. Who's next?
I'll go next with another team then. Because again, I'm shifting another team over. I think it's time for a fresh start for all of them. Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. Damage control. Get them over to Raw.
I have put damage control. Give me a second. Where have you put them, Callum?
Yeah, I think they should probably go over to Raw as well. The feud with Bailey seems to be over.
Yeah,
Um,
them on SmackDown, but
so I don't really see the need for them staying on SmackDown. I was going to make a Simpsons joke, but I don't know whether I will. Oh, go on, I will. I'm a little bit concerned about damage control that, like, without Bailey, it could be like Paul McCartney leaving Wings. Um, and I think they really need they need that move to Raw to sort of stabilize them on that division and be separate of Bailey. Because I think if they stay on the same brand, it's just going to leave those sort of memories with the feud between Bailey and Io, and really like neither of them need that. So it'd be good for them to be on separate brands for a while.
Mm. Well, I left them on SmackDown, but it's 2-1 in it, so that's the move over. That's the way we used to do
We're
it.
shifting.
The
Mm.
goal. I'm all right with it, with them moving over. Like I didn't really. I don't know. I think it's one of them where it's like if you're going to move damage control over, that's quite a big thing. So you're going to have to fill out the SmackDown side.
Oh,
Mm.
don't you worry. People are moving.
Yeah,
All right, sounds
yeah.
okay. That's okay. I'm okay with damage control moving
But
to be
and it
fun.
also fills out like the heel role in a way that Rhea was playing. So Io can sort of step into Rhea's shoes of being the main female heel on that Raw roster.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Next up.
So I'll do call ups last. So I'll do my next two who are sort of main roster SmackDown people going over to Raw.
Okay.
And the final two, they're not a team, but coincidentally, since SmackDown last night, there is something that connects them, and they are the first and most recent victims of the new bloodline. So I'm moving Jimmy Uso and Kevin Owens to Raw.
Interesting.
Jimmy, because I feel like him being sort of excommunicated, there's nothing that he's going to get from being on the same brand as Solo and Tama Tonga. So him moving over, you have all the stuff about like can he be on the same brand as Jay? Can they work it out? Can they do all this kind of stuff? Because surely at some point this is all leading to a new bloodline versus old bloodline, like Reigns and the Usos versus
Yeah, like
Solo, Tama, and
yeah.
probably Jacob Fatu at that point.
I'm so
Um,
okay, I'll be honest.
And then Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was someone who, like, he popped up in my head because I thought, realistically, if he stays on SmackDown, what is it that he does? You know?
Yeah.
Whereas I think he's a big enough face to go over to Raw and be a legitimate contender for Priest for the world title.
Yeah,
So I think that's a good spot for him to be in.
yeah.
So the final main two on SmackDown that I've got moving over to Raw.
Well, I've kept the bloodline as the bloodline, right? Including Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's not in the bloodline. Um, I've kind of kept it so it's like, well, he's still about trying to be in the bloodline. Because I feel like if Jimmy and Jay are on the same brand, they're gonna like tease doing the thing, like getting back together a bit too
I
much.
feel like they are going
Do you think? I don't know. You know, Jay is like, I
to.
wouldn't be shocked.
Jay is super hot.
Like Jey Uso versus Damian Priest
Yeah.
is like money.
And
I'll be,
I spoke to Sam at work this week, and he was like, Jay needs to win the title because he's
yeah,
so over. I was like, I totally get what you mean, but I can't help but think that they're just going to end up rerunning the Usos again at some point.
yeah. It's one of them where it's like Jay is the bigger star. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
But if I don't know, it's one of them where it's like maybe when he's winning the title, do you get Jimmy to like turn face and be happy for him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's too soon to happen at Backlash, but even with a sort of like Judgment Day interference, and Jimmy's the one that helps him, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, but okay. So I didn't move Jimmy. So where did you put Jimmy Callum?
See, I wonder whether he could go to NXT, and that's not me wanting to make it sound like a demotion, but I'm just thinking, like, who's the general manager of NXT? And I can't really work out the family bloodline, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's Ava Johnson, and I just think it'd be really interesting for her to say, "Hey, uncle or cousin or second cousin, join my show.
Brother from another mother.
Like, join NXT. Like, I'll look after you because no one else really is looking after you." And then at some point, Jimmy returns to the either Raw or SmackDown to go face to face with Solo and Tama Tonga alongside Jay. And then that could create a bit of a divide between Ava Johnson and The Rock. But like, well, why are you looking after him? You know, I told you not to. And it could, include her in the story as well.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to make a decision about Jimmy. Because
I
Jimmy
feel like you're the one who now has to make a decision about Jimmy.
well, he weren't moving anywhere. Me. He was staying where he was. So it's a stalemate because
Fair point then.
free agent Jimmy.
Free agent Jimmy.
Yeah. Is that what we're doing?
That might be the gimmick that he needs.
The free agents, yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, man. And they just no one wants him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excommunicano
Okay, we'll put Jimmy up here.
on the periphery, outside
Yeah.
the table.
Jimmy Uso up here, free agent. Let's see what happens with him. And then Owens.
Owens, yeah.
I have also moved Owens to Raw. What have you done with Owens, Callum?
Yeah, it's a toss-up between Owens and Orton to move over to Raw for me.
Yeah.
But I think Orton staying on SmackDown would be better for the sense of having Cody on that show as well. So then we could get the Cody Orton feud. And Owens is at the level where he can have like a match or a feud against Damian Priest and it feel like a main event title feud.
Yeah.
So I'm good for KO to go over to Raw.
I think, do you know what the interesting thing is, right? Is that if they were doing it, this is the thing, right? And this is the sports element that's always missed out on. Do you know what I mean? Not always, but a lot of the time. But I would love a feud that isn't a feud between Sammy and KO. And it's just KO doing his thing and like being like, I want that title. And he's like, let's fight for the
Best of
title.
5 series.
Well, the argument is, and the sort of about it is that Kevin Owens never wants to win the IC title again
Yeah.
because he wants to stay the same as Owen Hart because it's the same amount of days and stuff like that and the same amount of reigns. So that's a bit of a spanner in it. But the idea of them having like a feud but not a feud to just be like, let's just see who's the best. Like, let's just do this would be really interesting. So it's not like they don't hate each other. They don't like.
Who's not to say that might not be for the world title down the line?
I'd like that.
Sammy in the Bank.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Money in the Bank has got a lot of potential this year already.
so much, so
Yeah.
much.
When I watched a bit of Smackdown this morning, and when LA Knight came out, I thought he could win it this year. But it's like Sammy could win it this year, Owens could win it this year, AJ could win it this year.
Gunther,
Who?
Gunther,
Gunther, yeah.
Yeah.
Gunther's
I'll
winning it.
leave Dominic out.
Oh, I'd love that. Oh my God, I'd love it so
Dom in the Bank.
Oh God. Dirty Dom stealing the money in the bank.
But just like every time the world champion's out there, he comes out.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
he gets ran off or he just gets battered by something. It's
Oh,
just
I
all
love
the
that
time he's
so
always
much.
there. You're like, fuck off, Dom.
Yeah, man. I'm here for that, I tell you. Right. So, are we saying Sammy's staying on Raw then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Further. Okay. So Zayn can stay on Raw. Who else have you got?
So that's it for people moving from SmackDown. Have either of you got any more people moving from SmackDown to Raw?
Maybe. Oh yeah, I've got LA Knight.
Oh,
I've got LA Knight going to Raw because I feel like LA Knight versus Priest is a more believable feud than LA Knight versus Cody. So like the idea of him being a world champ is far more believable than when he was fighting Reigns. It was just like, what are you even doing?
it's not happening.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
stop, mate. Just stop. Yeah, no. You're acting like a dummy. But yeah, I would champion LA Knight moving to Raw. What are you saying?
I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's got my vote as well.
Just because I think he needs to like freshen up a little bit, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And who else have I got? I've got another person as well, maybe two actually. Give me a second. I've got. Oh, actually, I've got two. Got two people. I've got the Pride moving to Raw.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've since changed that because I know that Bianca Belair and Cargill are like a tag team now.
Yeah.
So if that happens, Bianca Belair would not automatically, but you would think would move to Raw with Tez, and I don't think that's going to happen because Cargill's going to stay on SmackDown. So maybe not with the Pride. I take that back. And I've done Pretty Deadly moving as well.
Pretty Deadly were one that I kept umming and ahhing about and very nearly
Yeah,
moved back to NXT. But I thought that's just going to do them a disservice, that. And
yeah,
I think they're thought highly enough of to stay
Hmm.
up on Raw or SmackDown. Um, yeah, maybe.
they
Because I
will.
think my one of my things about moving Legado was you've got face tag champs on Raw,
Yeah,
and
Hmm.
they need heel teams, but there's more face teams on Raw.
yeah. Just
Yeah,
imagine
so
a promo between Awesome Truth and Pretty Deadly. Just imagine that for a second.
Hmm.
It would be bananas. So what are you saying about Pretty Deadly then? He's
yeah,
you
go on then,
Yeah.
get them going.
right? Okay, okay, go.
Um, right, so call ups then.
Oh yeah,
So I've gone obvious, and I've gone Ilya Dragunov and Roxanne Perez. I feel like they're
they're
obvious.
going to Raw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just sticking on Raw for now because there are people that I want to move to SmackDown, but I'll talk about them after.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So Ilya and Roxanne, I think, because they were on Raw last week, night after Mania. They make more
Hmm.
sense. And then a group going up that haven't been on NXT in a while, but they have been helping out a certain People's Champion to get ready for his Mania match. I'm going to move Dallas up to Raw. So Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, and Wolfgang.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
I think they're ready.
Galaxy.
There was talk of them going up some point last year, I think.
I feel like they've been on the periphery.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of thingy. I've done that Lida Valkyrie
Valkyria.
Valkyria.
Hmm.
I've
Is
sent
that
her to
because you
Raw.
thought she was Roxanne?
Maybe, but I've sent it to Raw. I think. Do you
Right.
know what? Right, I don't watch NXT. If I know somebody, I feel like if I know them, they should be moving up.
If I, if I know them, they're ready.
Yeah, because I don't watch it. So
Where's
if
Osmosis
it's
Jones? Where have you-
what?
Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis Jones. I didn't even know that was a film. I'll be honest with you.
Did you not?
No, well, I did know it was
I
something.
had that on DVD.
I knew it was something. I just didn't know what it was. I knew Osmosis Jones was something. So I
Yeah.
was like, every time I hear his name, I think of Osmosis Jones, and I was like, I have to Google it to find out what it is. And then I was like, oh, it's a film. I thought it was like a cartoon, like on Cartoon Network or something.
Oh yeah. I
But
think they did like a spin-off.
did they? Yeah, I thought
I
that's what
think
it was.
so.
But yeah, Osmosis Jones anyway. Um. So yeah, I've done Lara Valkyria
Okay.
on Raw. If you are up for it,
I don't know.
okay.
Apologies to give you your first no, but
That's fine. It's all good.
I think
If Callum says
because
yeah, your opinion doesn't matter.
no, but I'm coming at this, I would say, more from an educated point of view, in that Roxanne has just beat Lyra for the title,
Hmm.
and then there's a triple threat match coming up on Spring Breaking where I get the feeling that they're going to do that thing where they just put it back on Lyra.
Ah,
Um,
right.
so I would move Roxanne,
Yeah.
Hmm.
keep Lyra down there for a little bit.
Saying that, my thought process doesn't really work because I know Cora Jade as well. Is that a name?
Yeah,
Yes, that's her name.
She's not ready to move up, so I know her.
Well,
she's
she's
currently
injured.
injured, so
I thought she
I would
came back
hope
a few
not.
weeks ago.
She got injured a few weeks after returning.
Yeah, it didn't go well. But if she's going to go anywhere, she'll be on the same round as Bron Breakker.
I thought they went together no more.
No, they are, aren't they?
Are they?
I don't know.
Okay.
Love's Young Dream. I don't know.
Smackers it is then. Smackers. Right. So there are our raw moves. We've got whoever the new world champ is, Awesome Truth and Damian Priest. They're our champs. And then we've got Legado del Fantasmo. Fantasmo is it Fantasmo?
Phantasma.
Phantasma.
El
Um,
Phantasma's a different guy.
yeah, I was gonna say. Damage Control, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Oh, Sami Zayn's staying because he's the IC champ. LA Knight, Pretty Deadly, Ilya Dragunov, Roxanne Perez and Gallus as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Gallus are, I'll be honest with you.
Of course you don't.
Sorry.
Why would you?
Sorry. If it's any consolation, I can tell you why I don't watch NXT, and it's time because last night I did my list whilst watching the I Quit match from Dynamite for the TNT Championship of with
The Edge won.
the Edge one.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, that's how far behind I am. I was watching that whilst I was doing this. So don't come at me with not watching, having time to
No,
watch
no,
NXT
no.
and that.
That's all right.
I mean, Gallus is Scots, so they can back Drew up. Should Drew need backing up,
Oh, I like that. That's all good. I like that. Gutted that Drew's gonna be on SmackDown, but I like that.
He's not going to be on SmackDown.
Before we go any further, are we keeping? We are keeping Logan Paul on SmackDown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, we can do that. That sounds right. Who are you? What are you going with here? What are we?
NXT.
Okay. Wait, what?
Who's getting quote unquote demoted?
Is this what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Why?
I was just wondering. I thought you were going.
I'm going through the week.
I thought you were going to.
Monday Raw, Tuesday NXT.
All right.
Wednesday Dynamite.
Before we carry on, just for funds,
Thursday Superstars.
if you could draft anybody to WWE from anywhere else, who would it be?
Speedball Mike Bailey.
Okay. That's it. But it's just anywhere.
It was the first name that popped in my head.
You think Speedball would be like a good?
I'd give Amazing Red a coach job.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Speedball would fit,
Yeah, no, I don't know.
You'd make him wear shoes and that.
No, Vince would have made him wear shoes.
Oh yeah.
I think he'll be fine under Triple H.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyone in AEW that you'd be like, they'd be good.
No, because I feel like everyone fits, don't they? Because like Swerve's popped into my head, but I feel like Swerve's just doing the best stuff that he's done in AEW,
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Callum, anybody you would go from anywhere else in the world?
So this is probably a bit of a cop out, but probably Mercedes.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the women's division is sort of struggling right now.
Yeah, actually, I feel that. I don't know.
I do feel like she's not found a stride anywhere else yet.
No. Do you know what is really annoying, right? And I'm not gonna put this on Twitter because I'd probably get some stick, but I think it every time I see it. A Mercedes Monet thing is just a not very good Carmella ripoff. Sorry. But the Melody's money thing was like boss, and it worked, and it was clever, and I just loved it. And this just feels the same, and she shouts CEO a lot. That's it. I don't know why.
Sasha Banks was the better character.
Yeah.
I'd be concerned that if she went back to WWE that she would do the thing of going, well, I want to come back as Mercedes. It's like,
No.
I mean, good.
Yeah. I don't know, the Mercedes Monet thing, I don't know, it just feels like Melody's money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are just not as good. And she's just banged in this CEO thing. Which is so annoying. Like, I don't understand why it chants CEO. I don't get that.
Is that because they want them to start chanting CEO, don't they?
Yeah, but
when it's manufactured, it never works.
No, I don't get it. I don't get it. And apparently, this tune's being streamed like 2.5 million times on Spotify or something. Who's streaming that? Who's doing that?
Adam, for the next theme quiz.
Weird.
Not a chance.
Weird. But
I'll cut it at the beginning, and you'll think it's Gunther.
Yeah, Yeah, I just think every time I see it, I just think, wow, you've ripped off Carmella, and Carmella better. Yeah,
Cease and desist.
yeah, I just do, and I know I shouldn't because, as I say, I get ripped apart on Twitter or X, I should say. But every time I see it, I'm just like, yeah. Anywho, who have you took to NXT? I'm not
So
going to
me
call it a
Raw.
demotion, all right?
No, they're moving across.
Cross, yeah,
Cross.
yeah, good
It's
call.
changing the night that they work on.
Yeah, yeah,
But they'll always know where it's going to be because it's always in Florida.
yeah,
Easier job that, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Baron
I'd stay.
Corbin did well with it. Baron Corbin
Well,
did
exactly.
smashing.
You know.
You know what I mean?
So my Raw picks going to NXT. I've got 4 Raw picks going to NXT. I've got a tag team,
Okay.
and I've got one single person who I think can go down until the partner heals up. So my tag team, purely because he's turned heel, Gable's going out on his own. So Akira Tozawa and Otis are going to NXT. They're taking
Oh,
Alpha Academy with them.
Alpha
Yeah.
Maxine's staying up though. And then because she's popped up, and I feel like it's going to be a better thing for her, Natalia to NXT.
Yeah.
I feel like they can do a lot with her down there,
Mm.
across there, I should say,
Yeah.
over there. And then purely because again he's popped up, feuding with the North American champion Obafemi. Let's get Ivar over there, and then he can do his stuff in NXT. Wait for Eric to heal up, and then the Viking Raiders can pop up where the Viking Raiders need to pop up.
I like that.
You know,
Who's Eric?
who's Eric? That was
Eric.
last year's draft. Who's Eric?
Who the hell is
Who's
Eric?
Eric? Bischoff.
I genuinely was puzzled. Who are you talking about? Who's Eric?
Who's Eric?
And if you had a picture of a bunch of people and then him on the end with his massive beard and his Viking stuff and went, pick out which one's called Eric, and you were one of them, I'd be like, him, he's Eric. With his
That
gig.
sounds like an insult.
I'm not, I'm just saying, you look more like an Eric than a
That basic
Viking.
bitch there, he's Eric.
You look more like an Eric than someone who dresses as a Viking. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Anyway. Anywho.
Do you want to go through them before I do my SmackDown ones?
Have you got anyone going over to NXT, Callum?
Yeah, from Raw, I would have added Tegan Knox as well. I think her and Natalia sort of feel like they come as a deal in a way.
Yeah.
And I would worry that if Tegan's by herself, what is there for her to do? Like we've currently got on the woman side, you've got like Candice and Indy teaming together, Shayna and Zoe. I mean, maybe one of those two teams moves over to SmackDown, which would make sense seeing as Damage Control are coming over. But I don't really know what there is for Tegan on Raw, which is a real shame because I think she can do more.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to know because I would like to see her in like a prominent position on any show that like she could be on. I just think like NXT would probably make more sense.
Yeah, I think it could make the character and the way people view her.
Yeah.
I will take
Because I mean, like she could like snap and basically say, look, I've been injured, I've been on Raw, I've been on SmackDown, I've been demoted, I came back to Raw, I got demoted again, and that's where the character needs to change.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do agree. To be fair, I'm not. I do.
I
Yeah,
disagree.
I like Tegan Knox, and I know you pre-all love her, but she's not exactly doing anything, is she? I think it's one of them where
That's
it's
why I'm
like,
moving her to SmackDown.
all right, sounds okay.
Not
Okay.
NXT.
You've been outvoted, so she's not going to SmackDown yet. She's going to win the NXT title and then go to SmackDown.
Whatever.
Stop. Shut up. All right. Anyone else?
Salty bitch.
I don't think I dare say anyone else. Like it's Adam's so mad by me.
You say Damien
implying that
Priest going to
Tegan-
NXT, and I'm not gonna be happy.
JD Madonna.
Yeah.
Fine.
No,
Get that bobblehead back down there.
that's only a joke. I can't really think of any other names that I think would be suited because for me it's getting TV time. It's not a case of it being, hey, you're getting demoted. I just want someone to actually get a chance to shine. Like we've had 5 people released in Xia Li, Jinder, Xion Quinn, Sangha, and Veer.
Yeah.
And the main reason why they've gone is because they've barely been on TV for the last few weeks in Jinder's case, and then for the other few, like I put in the group chat who's Xion Quinn.
I
Like
don't know what that is.
like he got drafted last year, and I think apparently he had like one squash match against someone and on the losing side.
Mm.
Not that I remember. And I think that's the trouble when you've got such a big show and a big roster like Raw. Is like you've got so many names that get drafted, like Odyssey Jones. Like we've never seen him.
Osmosis Jones. Yeah, man.
So if someone like Tegan isn't getting matches on Raw, then let her, get TV time on NXT. But there really isn't like a lot of other names that I think would be valuable on NXT.
I've
So
got two.
maybe Cedric.
He is one of mine. So I've got Cedric Alexander because Cedric Alexander is so good and doesn't get the time. Like he could go to NXT and like proper shine, proper go in for the world title, for the NXT world title. Like it's one of them where it's like it's what I feel like it's what they could have done or should have done with Apollo Crews. Like Apollo Crews should be a bigger deal. Like I understand he is, but he should be even in NXT. Do you know what I mean? And I think Cedric Alexander as the NXT champion is a good fit and could again make that like flesh that character out and have people be like, bloody hell, he's proper killing it down there. And then when he comes up, be something rather than just be there. Do you know what I mean? So I'm putting me 2 cents in for Alexander if we're okay with that.
Well, I'm going to add to that. So he's on SmackDown, so he's in my SmackDown picks. But I'm moving him and his current tag team partner, Ashanti the Adonis, to
Who's
NXT.
who's
Ashanti the Adonis.
so they're they're the tag team. Okay,
Yeah.
And Ashanti. Not Nelly's missus. Ashanti. And I've got Meechin as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Little NXT Meechin.
I've got a singles guy and I've got another group from SmackDown to go. The group I think being the obvious one because they popped up last week. Final Testament. Akam, Razor, Karrion Kross, and Scarlett.
You think they're
Moving them
all
down.
going to NXT?
They're all going to NXT.
Don't forget Ella in his pants, or is
And
they just
Ella
going
in
to
his
stay on?
pants. You know,
They're just going to
I
stay
don't
on
have to see his leather
SmackDown.
pants then, does he?
That's a big one, that.
Well, what else is he doing?
I mean, nothing but Jesus Christ. Okay.
And then the last one, which is kind of an unfortunate one, but I feel like he needs a bit of a repackage and a bit of a sort of rebuff. Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
He's only just come from there.
He came up last year.
He's had 2 matches.
Exactly. That's the reason why he's going back. Fix a gimmick. Do something else.
Okay. Okie doke.
That's it.
Okie
That's all the ones
doke.
I've got.
All right. So, going to NXT, we've got the Alphas, minus Gable. Oh, minus Gable and Maxine. Natty, Ivar, Tegan Knox, Cedric Alexander, and Ashanti the Adonis. Meechin, Final Testament, and Cameron Grimes. What are you shaking your head at?
Fully disagree with Tegan Knox.
What else is she doing?
She's going to SmackDown on my list, and I get to it.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm not even included. Oh my god, she's not. I've not even put her on it. Right, fine. She can go to NXT then.
Because you forgot about her.
Because I forgot about her. To be fair, I thought she was on my SmackDown list, but she's not.
All
Sorry,
this garbage
Tegan.
you've been giving us, you cheeky little.
Fine, she can go to NXT.
Right. Who is your? Give me your first SmackDown pick.
Oh, here we go. Right. So I'll do the ones that I'm moving from Raw.
Yeah, obviously.
So to join his LWA compadres, Andrade.
Where have I put Andrade? Oh, I've moved Andrade to SmackDown as well.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to work through the women's roster because then I've got quite a biggie pick for the last one. So I'm going to shift over purely because Damage Control just got moved over to Raw. So Sana even sides out a little bit. I'm going to go with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
I did
Yeah.
the same. Look at us on the
You know, they
same.
can stop annoying Adam Pearce and they can go and annoy Nick Aldis instead.
Mm.
And the team of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark.
Oh, interesting.
Give
Like
them
that.
something new to do, you know.
Yeah.
Penultimate male pick before I get to my group. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay. I've put
Yeah.
Shinsuke on Raw, but okay.
Get him over, get him doing something. And then the big one,
Hmm.
future contender for Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship with his Imperium teammates. Get Gunther to SmackDown. Get Gunther to SmackDown.
I have done the
Gunther,
same.
Ludwig, Giovanni. Let's go.
Gunther and Imperium.
Yup.
Okay.
Then there's no excuse then that he has to have another match for the Intercontinental title and lose it because they don't want to put it back on him. He just moves over to SmackDown. We
I
don't see
like
him
that.
again on Raw.
That's clever.
Mm.
And then further down the line, Bash at Berlin wins the WWE title.
I like that. Hey, out of interest, have you? So what you saying about Gable and Creed Brothers being something? Does that mean the Creed Brothers are staying on SmackDown? Staying on Raw?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've done Gable and the Creeds going to SmackDown.
No, I feel like they're going to stay put for the time being. He's only just turned heel.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sounds. Okay. Anything else?
I've got call ups, but have you got anyone else moving from Raw to SmackDown?
Have you, Callum? Let me just go through. Yeah.
So, like, originally, before getting injured, I was thinking maybe Seth and Becky could move over to SmackDown. Just because I think Seth's had so many matches on, honestly, so many matches. He's had so many feuds on Raw being world champion that maybe moving over to SmackDown would give him a bit of a refresh. But because of his injury, like, and there's no sort of timeline on his return, I would keep him and Rhea as free agents so they can just then come back whenever they're ready and be that return pop. And actually, I think like in Rhea's case, it'd be really cool if she returns. And you're going to be really mad of me saying this, Adam, but I'd have her return on the opposite show to Judgment Day because I think that could create a bit of a division between the two. And it'd be a case of like, well, why is she signed with the other show? And then, because I can't really see Judgment Day being a thing when Rhea does return, because I think Finn needs to turn face at some point, and he could be a feud for Damien. So if that's the case, then Rhea can be on a separate show to whoever's still in Judgment Day.
I feel like Damien's going to turn face before.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like it's the other way.
It'll be one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Damien's going to be like.
After what happened on Raw,
Mm,
where he was quite annoyed about him attacking, who was it?
Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird in that after I watched Rhea relinquish the title, I did think like I really don't think she's going to come back and Judgment Day will still be a thing.
Yeah. That was my like initial thought.
But then the one person out of all of them who I struggle to see what they're going to do is Dom.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Like his character works and fits in that group, and he's protected by that group. So I don't know.
It's tough to know.
JD will be his little whipping boy.
Well, because I thought, is it going to be just Dom and JD as like tag champs and running for the tag titles? But then there's something about like Finn and like his understudy JD, you know.
Mm,
I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do with Dom. Like, they're not
Yeah.
turning Dom back to face anytime soon.
Oh no, like the heat that he gets just from putting a microphone near his lips is like
Absolutely no chance of that happening.
insane.
Yeah, interesting. So go on. So who did you have, Callum? Who's
well, names I originally had were possibly Seth or Becky, but due to his injury, then they're going to stay on Raw, or Becky will stay on Raw because they need like quite a high profile woman's name on that show.
Yeah, definitely.
I could see Bronson moving over to SmackDown.
I was just about to say that Bronson Reed might be a good one.
Yeah, I did debate.
I've got Bronson Reed. Um, I've got Bronson Reed and DIY moving over. No, just me.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think, like I was saying before, that I think SmackDown need more face teams and Raw need more heel teams.
Yeah,
mm.
so I've got DIY. But I haven't thought about Indy and
Candace.
Canvas. But then I suppose it doesn't really make much difference where they are, because if they're a tag team, they can just follow the titles, realistically.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So I have moved them as well. Moved away.
Oh, and then all of the way are on SmackDown.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
No, because Austin Theory's there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So then you could have the way back.
Poor
Eh?
old Grayson.
Poor Grayson. Grayson and Tommaso.
So I think that's everyone that I'm like looking at moving. Obviously Punk staying on Raw. I have got Naomi going to Raw, which I didn't mention, but I don't know about that.
Well, maybe if we're saying that Jimmy goes.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm.
Say, do you want to say Naomi moves?
Yeah.
Naomi.
Yeah, because
I've got
she's
my call
like the
ups.
fourth face, isn't she? On that SmackDown side, if you keep Bailey, Bianca, and Jade, then you've got Naomi there, who, unless she's in a tag team, there's no one really there for her to feud with.
And then, so what call ups have you got for SmackDown? I've got way
Well,
more.
being as I moved a big group from SmackDown to NXT in the Final Testament, I'm going to move a group up from NXT to SmackDown. I'm going to move Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, Noam Dar, and Ori Mensah, so Metaphor. Bring them to SmackDown. Ty ain't got a clue who any of them are.
I've heard of
I
Noah
don't know I'm
because
that. I
in
don't
across
I
know
from
I'm
the
don't know
High
that.
Noam Dar.
Bucks.
He was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
I know who he is. I've seen him wrestle live, messing.
Um, and then a couple of other big ones who I think they've outgrown NXT and it's time for them to move on. Dijak, Dominic Dijakovic, get him on
I don't.
SmackDown.
I don't think that's happening yet.
Really?
No, I think he's going to win the the NXT title before he moves. I don't.
Okay, mate. Actually, to be fair, he could beat Trick because I get the feeling that Trick's going to beat Ilya because
Yeah,
that's then going to let Ilya come up then.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah,
think Dijakovic's going to think yet. He will, but not yet.
yeah. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
One who's already appeared on SmackDown, but then has essentially stopped since his feud with Trick, Carmelo Hayes permanently becoming SmackDown
Yeah,
roster
I've
member.
got Carmelo.
Mm.
And then purely to appease Ty and to join his War Dogs partner on SmackDown, reunite the War Dogs, get Baron Corbin back up.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
I have done that too. Yeah. I have all. I've also done, obviously Breaker is on SmackDown. So I've done him, and then I've done either possibly Tony D'Angelo,
Tony D'Angelo.
who I'm not sure because he should be going down on a murder charge. But
Oh,
we'll
because they whacked Gulak, didn't they?
be whacked back, yeah.
They whacked Gulak.
So he might be going down on a murder charge. Because Ronda Rousey said so. Him or Von Wagner.
Isn't he already on Raw or SmackDown?
Oh, this is why I've put him on. Why I've mentioned him, right? Has he already been here?
I don't know.
Who's the
He's
guy who
wherever
turns the camera
Osmosis
upside
Jones
down?
is right now.
Who's the guy who turns the camera upside down?
Who's the guy who turns the camera upside down?
When he walks down to the ring, everything's upside down.
Gacy.
Maybe him then.
Joe Gacy.
Joe Gacy, that sounds right. That
At
guy.
one point, he had schism, didn't he? But then, your mate Jax sabbed him off.
Well, yeah. No schism.
Good to be fair, though.
Yeah. Wonder what's happened to them. Wonder if they're any good. He's still wrestling the rest of the schism.
DIY?
What?
GIY. Who Mike's talking about?
GYV.
GYV.
DIY? I was joking. I was making a joke. So you don't
Grizzled
think
it
Tony
yourself.
Tony D'Angelo, Von Wagner, or that Schism guy? None of them.
Schism guy.
I'm not saying any
To
of
be
them.
fair, that Schism guy could be a part of whatever Wyatt thing is on the way.
No,
No.
Oh, here we go.
no.
No, we've got the Wyatt Six. We've got Bo. We've got Alexa. We've got Braun. We've got Rowan. We've got Matt Hardy apparently coming back. Who's the other one?
The more
There's somebody else in there.
Live. No, not Live.
Joe Schism.
Roman.
Strowman. I included Strowman.
Yeah.
Boom.
I don't know. The more I hear about this, the more I'm like, oh,
Leave the
don't know.
memories alone.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think every time.
Mm.
And he didn't. That was his Hall of Fame tune for Ric Flair. And what did he do 6 months later? Went to TNA.
It's because it's cursed, that song. It's cursed.
So no one else, no D'Angelo or Wagner or none of
Well,
that.
I mean, like with D'Angelo, you've got to bring the entire family up, haven't you? You know, Mama D'Angelo with her Domino pasta.
I
You
don't
know, so
I don't-
Dax, whatever his name is.
Well, there's Dolmio pasta.
I mean, because there's such a sort of American Italian
Oh, right,
stereotype,
okay, all right.
just like a mama used to make.
Prego. Hey, did you know that? Did you know Prego means Prego like
But-
sauce? Prego,
Yeah.
like Prego sauce is like a thingy. This is a total sidestep that I only learned the other day, right? But did you know that in the like Italian or whatever, Prego means you're welcome?
Right.
How passive aggressive is that for
Yeah.
a
Like,
sauce?
you're welcome. We've
Yeah.
done your teeth for you.
Yeah,
Lazy
like,
bastard.
is that nice? Yeah, you're welcome. How
You're
passive
welcome.
aggressive is that?
We've done the hard work. We've put it in a jar.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked when I found that out. No one else then, just metaphor.
Domio is Italian for lazy bastard.
But
What's for team ups with that lazy bastard? Get away.
I've lost my train of thought. What was I doing? Oh yeah, so just thinking about
Holidays.
just metaphor breaker, Carmelo and Corbin.
Yeah, that's who I've got.
All right, okay. Anyone else? For anyone else, we're going.
Any more for any more?
Any more. Nobody else going down across to NXT. That was on. That was on that was on SmackDown. We've done it all, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've done all down there on the show. Okay, sounds sorry.
I was worried about that delay. I was like,
It's
who's
still
he writing
nice.
down?
It's yours for everybody because that's what I do. Looks quite interesting actually. Right, so right, and we're going with the idea of the obvious people staying where they're staying. So Orton staying on SmackDown, Becky staying on Raw, AJ staying on SmackDown, Reigns staying on SmackDown, Bianca Belair staying on SmackDown, Punk staying on Raw, Charlotte Flair.
Free agent.
I think there'll be some of them that they don't even mention. Like, I don't think they'll mention Reigns, and I don't think they'll mention Flair.
Yeah.
They might mention Punk purely because he's healthy enough to pop up. And they have said, haven't they, that he's going to be on the draft episodes.
Yeah.
So I can imagine him being there. They might not mention Seth.
Hmm.
You know, I feel like if they know that they're going to be out for a little bit, they probably won't mention them, and then it can be a surprise then for when
Yeah.
they rock up, wherever it is that they rock up.
Yeah. Sheamus on Raw, Rollins on Raw.
Sheamus, who, let's just give the credit where credit is due, doesn't need the amount of shaming that he's had this week.
I mean, what the hell?
Like, absolute disgrace that's gone on this week.
Shocking. I tweeted and was like, it's funny that people are saying he's come back a bit chunky when most of us are sitting here on our third donut looking like we live under a bridge. Like,
Exactly.
what the hell, man? What?
Like you might feel that way about the way that he looks, but it's still not your head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is he
I
still
don't
someone to mess
think he
with?
looks that. I didn't think he looked that big.
I didn't. And the worst
No.
one that was going around was that there's like a slightly photoshopped version of it where they've
Yeah.
widened it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? Why are we doing this?
Mad.
Also, the guy's 46, 47, who's had
Like,
incredibly like
yeah.
career-ending injury.
Yeah.
So let him look how the way he looks.
What is it? Spinal stenosis. It's the thing that Edge had as well, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
like it's not. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a side by side of him like a few years ago when he was like shredded, and they've like tightened that one,
Yeah.
and then looked at the one of him on Raw and like widened it, and it's like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this? Like,
Seriously. And nothing else better to do with your lives than do that.
fucking disgusting.
You do you, Seamus.
Yeah, man. I love Sheamus,
I love you.
I'm bringing back his lobster head music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me limes,
Too
give
many
me limes.
limes.
Yeah, reminds me of always reminds me of shameless plugs at the end of SLTD radio, because that's what we played, because we had shameless plugs. Always reminds me, always a good time. Anyway, so what we've got is, I mean, I quite like this, but what we've got, so our draft predictions or hopes or whatever you want to go with, right? So on Raw, we've got Damian Priest, Awesome Truth, whoever the new Women's World Champion is, and Sami Zayn as our champions. Then we've got Legado del Fantasma, Damage Control, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, LA Knight, Pretty Deadly.
You mentioned Sammy twice.
Did I mention Sami twice?
Yeah, our IC champion Sami Zayn, and then
Oh,
about
because he's
3
in the
picks
list.
later,
Sorry.
Sami Zayn.
Yeah, sorry. And then from NXT, we've got Ilya Dragunov, Roxanne Perez, Gallus, and we've had a late move from Naomi to Raw. Right, and then on SmackDown, we've got Cody as our world champ. We've got 8 Down Under tag team. We've got Bailey as our women's, and Logan Paul as our US. Well, Logan Paul's the only champion left from the McMahon era. Mad that.
What a stat.
Yeah, mad. And then we've got, moving over, we've got Andrade, Chelsea Green, and Pippa Nevin. Piper Nevin.
Pippa.
Is it
The
Pippa?
long stockings.
Pippa long stockings.
Do I get to, is it
Piper.
Pippa or Piper?
Piper.
Piper.
Piper. I say
Pippa
Pippa.
is P-I-double-P-A.
Yeah.
And the Pied
Um,
Pippa.
Anyway, Green and Nevin. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Shinsuke Nakamura. Gunther and Imperium. Bronson Reed, DIY, and The Way. And then from NXT, we've got Metaphor, Bron Breakker, Canelo Hayes, and Baron Corbin. And then going across to NXT, we've got Alphas, Natty, Ivar, Tegan Knox, Boo.
I agree with it now, it's fine.
Okay, all right. Alexander Ashanti, Michin, The Final Testament, and Cameron Grimes. And we've got our one and only free agent, Jimmy Uso. Because none of us could decide.
Excommunicado, Jimmy Uso.
Yeah. Jimmy what? Jimmy Uso. That's it. On his own. Doing his Heath Slater story. Yeah.
Just me who's day 2-ish.
Yeah.
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 I got kids.
Yeah, I was got kids.
Only for which ex ECW legend is going to come back and team with him
Yeah.
once he's decided.
He was he has got kids. He was fuming at one of them at WrestleMania, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Get off
Jayla, put
the
your
phone.
phone down.
What's your daddy?
What's your daddy?
Ah, funny that. I think that makes a pretty good set of new places. So basically, anybody we haven't mentioned is just staying where they're staying.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
what we're with, because not everyone's moving. Because then, what's the point? You know what I
exactly.
mean? The only thing I'm a bit thinky about is I think they might switch the title, the mid card titles, but we shall see.
It's the only one that they can switch if they do switch.
Yeah, I feel
'Cause
like everything else now is stuck in
they're
position.
not going to switch the tag teams because they've just created the new titles. They're
Yeah.
not going to switch the women's because, well, currently isn't a Raw Women's Champion. And
Yeah.
Cody's not going to go back over to Raw because they needed a solid champion on SmackDown because they haven't had one for 4 years.
Yeah. Who do you think's going to win the women's world title then? Give me a name. I think it's going to be Nia Jax. I'll be honest.
Liv.
No, it's too soon. It's too soon into the revenge tour.
A revenge tour that lasted a week. Got my revenge.
Bye.
She's injured. Relinquished. Bye. I
Bye.
can chuck some people over the rope. Bye.
Do you genuinely think Liv?
Yeah, I feel like out of the options, I don't like Becky is the one that is there, but I feel like she's sort of like odd time,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Callum, who do you think's going to win and why do you think it's going to be Becky Lynch?
How did you know? I just like, I hate calling someone a reliable hand, but you know what you get with Becky as champion, and I just think she could have the title for 2 months and have another good reign, and then once Liv is ready, because Liv's going to be a heel once Rhea returns. So I think if Liv is the one to beat Becky, then that's fine. And I think that gives a big win for Liv heading into a feud with Rhea. Whereas I think if Liv wins it in just a battle royal, then you know fine. But have her win the title in like quite a big title feud.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. So now, yeah, it's one of them where would you do it where so whoever wins the title, whoever it may be, could be Liv, but then when they know Rhea's coming back, put the title on Liv. So then she's like, I finally got what I wanted, and then like so
You go
say like
straight
the
into
Raw,
feud with.
yeah, so like the Raw after or whatever it may
Hmm.
be, if she wins it on a Raw, and then Rhea Ripley comes out and she's like, poops.
What
No,
what what?
I would have Liv win Money in the Bank. I would have the winner of the Battle Royal stay champion until Rhea comes back because Rhea's probably only going to be out for a couple of months,
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
maybe around SummerSlam time. Have
yeah,
Rhea go straight into a feud with them of, oi, that's mine, give it back.
yeah.
Rhea wins, but then Liv cashes in straight away.
Oh, that's quite good. Has Liv
Hmm.
already won the Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has, Angie.
So it should be the only 2 time unless you count Carmella.
You do count
Oh,
Cameron.
James Ellsworth.
Yeah, Shane's not man. Yeah. So there you go. I am quite excited for the draft. I will say this as well. The new draft logo is delicious.
Mm.
I
Hmm.
love the old draft logo. Hated it. Hated every single bit of it. It was horrible. This new one. Woo-hoo. Also, do you think if they're going to do it, they're going to have like war rooms, and one of the war rooms is going to be Netflix?
Possibly.
I think after our conversation about Netflix last week, we probably shouldn't mention Netflix. Although I had thought CM Punk should be like the first Netflix champion, and they call it the Netflix and Phil title.
Oh dear.
That's quite funny. um, yeah, I am thoroughly. This is a double-edged sword for me because I can't wait for it to be on Netflix because it's just going to be so much easier. But then the the network going just makes me beyond sad. Like,
Mm,
We've spoke about this though. Like my watching of the network has dwindled massively since they
mm,
updated it.
man hasn't. So,
And I pay my tenner a month just because I know that I get the PLEs,
well,
mm.
yeah,
you know.
I
And then when that rolls into Netflix, great, all power to it. The only rubbish one is that I would then still be in a contract for 6 months with BT for BT Sport. I, unless I pay it off, I'll just let it run out and then bye.
fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad about the network going.
Mm.
If you could download the whole network for me, that would be sweet.
I'll put it on a Blu-ray.
Put it on a Blu-ray.
Or on Blu-ray. Or on
Blu-ray.
I had this idea as well. I shouldn't really say this on pod, but whatever I'm going to say. I had this idea that I'm going to go on like an absolute tyrant to find out all the people who are in the know and can make these decisions. Send some emails, tweet some people, Facebook some people, whatever I need to do to make WrestleMania 40 happen in a steel booth. That's what I'm going with. Like, I'm going to do it.
You're not getting it.
I'm going to do it. All right.
It's not going to happen.
But will I want with that attitude, will it? Hey,
No. No,
so
I don't want it.
what?
I don't want it.
So if it came out on a steel case, like a special edition, you wouldn't buy it? Really?
The last Mania I have physical edition is 28. Because the only ones I kept were 26, 28. 25, 26, and 28.
Okay. Okay. All right. I see why.
So I'm not going to bother on getting 40, am I?
Okay, but if that happened and I made it happen, then you'd buy it.
If it was like a Kickstarter and it was like so many people need to buy it, for you, I'd buy it.
Okay, not like a Kickstarter. Well, I suppose, yeah. But if I speak to like,
Go fund me.
if I
Go
go to
fund
like,
my
if
steelbook.
if I email the owner of the distribution company that used to make physical DVDs, and we go back and forward, and they
You need me
make
to co-sign something? Is this what we're getting at?
yeah,
Right.
and I'm like going backwards and forwards and sending emails to big bosses of things, being like, make it happen. You wouldn't buy it if I made it happen.
You get
If
it
you
for
made
free,
it happen,
surely.
And it said, on the back of it, like a little thing, it said as produced by SLTD Wrestling. By all means.
All right, okay.
Right in there. I was trying to see if I've got my wrestling Blu-rays up here actually.
Have you? I've got quite a few, to be fair.
Oh, I'm glad that I've just seen that because they're out of order and that's disgusted me.
So how come you? So did you have all the Blu-rays and then you bailed them?
At one point, I had them all. I had like all the sort of Thingy Mania ones.
Yeah,
That Silvervision logo and everything.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got from 24 to 31. No, I haven't. I'm lying. From 30,
I remember
24.
which one was the last one that I had.
The last one I got was the COVID one, so 2020. So I don't know why.
So you're missing a couple.
Yeah, but I get them. Well, I get them once a year for Christmas off Rachel's mum.
Yeah.
So I don't go out and buy them. She started getting me them, and I was like, "Sounds, I'll just stop getting them." So because she started getting me them, so I'll catch up.
Well, I would suggest that you catch up sooner rather than later because they've stopped printing them.
Oh yeah.
So if you're missing any, right now they're probably going to be cheap.
Okay.
But later in the year, it's not just 40 that you'll be wanting to get into a steelbook.
I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Anyway.
Whilst we're talking about Mania, what do we think of Mania maybe being in May?
No.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
No.
Hate it.
No. Don't move.
I'm off work. Not at May. At the other time. Keep it the other time.
Keep it where it's meant to be.
I told Amy, she went, is it because they're all moaning about the weather? I said, yeah, probably.
I mean, I don't get why you'd have it in. I don't understand. Like, why move it? Garbage.
Because they have like changed so much around not just Mania. Like we've had quite a nice break between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, where you've got like that 2-month break.
Yeah.
Then you got Rumble, and they say we're now on the road to WrestleMania. We're only 70 days away. If they have Rumble last weekend in January, and then have WrestleMania, let's say May the 12th, we're only 110 days away until WrestleMania. And it's like, we're not really on the road to WrestleMania. The smaller gap between Backlash and SummerSlam. So, what are we on the road to SummerSlam after Backlash? No.
Yeah, I feel like it's just, they'd have to have something in between, and I don't really like the idea of having something in between. Unlike, I do like the idea of Elimination Chamber, but you'd have to have something else.
I feel like it's been putting it out in the ether to do one of two things. It's either to gauge how
Yeah,
people feel about it, or they've already made that decision.
yeah.
Mm.
Want it to move, like I'll be honest with you.
And I mean, I'm still surprised that we don't know where it is next year.
Same,
Mm.
same.
Like, it's weird that
Yeah.
I
Usually,
fully expected like a night to
yeah.
this is where it is next year.
Mm.
Interesting.
Sam at work is 40 in I think it's 2 years' time. And he's always said that for his 40th he's gonna go to WrestleMania. And he said, knowing my luck, it'll be the one that lands in London. It's like, well, yeah, probably will be.
That's funny. Um,
Manchester, just at the Old Trafford,
yeah.
walking distance.
Piece of piss that'd be.
Anything else, guys, before we wrap this up?
No.
No.
No? Okay. Okie dokie. As always, stay safe, stay entertained, and watch the wrestling you want to watch. But if you've sat here and listened to us for over an hour, maybe watch the draft. Like, maybe see what's happening if you're going to listen to us. You know what I mean? And if you see us posting something about needing to get signatures on who would buy a WrestleMania 40 Blu-ray, by all means, please sign it because
And possibly a WrestleMania 39 Blu-ray.
yeah. If anyone's got a
8 and
WrestleMania 39
7.
then I will buy it. I didn't think of that. That's an interesting fact that you've just threw my way. Anyway,
I'm having a look for you, don't you worry.
all right. I think that's the last one anyway. I'll have to have a check. Yeah, stay safe, stay entertained, and we will catch you next time. Bye.